Alright guys, I am extra super duper excited today to introduce you to my new Shade and Light Eye Contour palette and also the Eye Contour brush. Very similar to the Shade and Light palette that you guys are already familiar with, but today I'm going to show you just basically how I like to approach my everyday eye contour look using this palette. Everybody has a different eye shape and everybody has a different preference as to how they want their eyes to appear after they've done their makeup. Personally for me, I tend to have really like teeny tiny eyes and they're a little bit like really close together. So for me, the two most important aspects of how I do my eyeshadow is really just all about adding width and obviously a little bit of a lift. So the next steps that I'm about to show you, of course, you guys can acclimate or change any of them to fit your specific needs. First things first, let's prime our eyes. I love using my high voltage eye primer and just simply using my fingers, I'm gonna go ahead and dab it onto my lid and just blend it out. First step is I'm gonna highlight. So I'm gonna use the lightest shade in the palette and go ahead and use the dome part of the brush and just basically sweep it all alongside the underside of your eyebrow. One trick that I think works really great for helping widening the eyes is to add a little bit of the same shade to the corner of your eyelid. I'm gonna go ahead and use the more precise side of the brush and go ahead and get into any corner that I missed. Once that's all blended nice and smoothly, I'm gonna move on to a transitional shade. I'm gonna use the dome side of the brush for this part because I want to be able to control the gradient and make sure that this is very smooth. So basically from my crease, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend it up. And now to add this like subliminal cat eye shape, I'm gonna use the precise side of the brush, and using that same shade, I'm just going to go ahead and create this invisible line. Let's add that same shade to the bottom of your lid, and this will definitely help with creating that depth. Using the deeper brown shade, I'm gonna go ahead and add even more depth to the bottom lid. So following my natural lid line, I'm going to go ahead and sweep it all the way into that cat eye shape that we started earlier. Like I always say, blending is the key to nice, smooth gradient eyeshadow. So don't be afraid to go back and forth until it's perfectly blended. One thing I love about this formula is that, all of these shades are matte and they just blend so easily. Those of you who try it are gonna absolutely fall in love with it. I'm going to go ahead and add a lot more dimension, and this is gonna be using the deeper shade of brown, and using that precise side of your brush, just go ahead and make more of a defined line in your crease. Of course, let's go back and blend through that. And now in order to start creating and building this widening effect, I'm gonna focus more on the outside corners of my eyelids because obviously the purpose is to make my eyes look a little bit wider. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of that deepest, darkest shade of the palette. And you can already start to see my eyes are looking so much bigger. Okay, now that we're done with the eyeshadow section, I'm gonna move on to a little bit of eyeliner. I'm gonna use solid black and just gently put some on my waterline. And this will definitely help make such more of a solid shape for your eye. This look would definitely not be complete without some liquid eyeliner. I love tattoo liner, and I know you guys do too. For this particular look, I think that the classic cat eye definitely helps in creating that more doe-eyed, wider eye look. So going back and forth, make sure it's even with your other eye. I'm gonna stay away from putting any eyeliner on the inner corner of my eye because, again, remember, we're trying to create that separation. All right, now the eyeliner's done, let's move on to mascara. I love the Immortal Lash formula. I know that the wand itself can be intimidating, but it really does wonders, especially if you like to wear false lashes, just because you can get into every tiny little corner and make sure that every single lash is drenched in the most blackest of black. Cool, so there you have it. This is the final look, and it is pretty easy, and it is definitely a lot of fun to see all the dimension that you can create using this palette, and I hope you guys love it, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.